The Frank Haith Show, brought to you by Don Thornton Cadillac, Pepsi, River Spirit, TTCU, The Credit Union, Bill Knight Ford, and St. Francis Health System. And now your host, Bruce Howard.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Frank Haith Show. I'm Bruce Howard, joined by the basketball coach at the University of Tulsa, Frank Haith. And, we're going to go through two games, and boy, you could not have two more opposite endings in terms of the joy of winning a big game at Kansas State and then, of course, the Illinois State game before.
Two back-to-back road games. You don't see that often in preseason. We fought hard up at Illinois State, but we had a good finish. Obviously, we stayed with it against K-State, where I thought our guys played their butts off completely for 40 minutes.
Really did a terrific job of recovering, and we'll have all of that coming up. It's highlights of Illinois State, of Kansas State, and also some features coming your way on the Frank Haith Show. We're back on the Frank Haith Show, and Coach, for the second straight year, you have to play Illinois State for a second time, but I know your team was really geared up to play after they got you pretty good in that tournament.
Yeah, and I thought we had good focus to start this ball game. We played with some really good intensity, it was a hard-fought game. We struggled a little bit shooting the ball here to start this ball game.
Yeah, and it was on the road, so it's very difficult. You can tell there's a lot of red there, obviously, the Redbirds, but your team battled hard early, especially.
We did. We just weren't able to sustain our shooting. But here's the deal. Our defense was outstanding this game, where we struggled in the tournament. We didn't play D very well, but I thought we guarded pretty good here. I thought we did a good job of containing their best players in terms of their shooting percentages. We got a great lift off for Lawson Carita here off the bench.
Yeah, knocked down a three for you there, and the Hurricane getting back to a 5-point deficit at this point. And Elijah Joyner continues to improve. Look at that shot.
He's really worked hard at shooting the ball. Obviously, this is close to home. He had a lot of family there, and I thought he played really well. Great pass there, great finish by Martins.
Made it 36-29 at that point, and then at the end of the half, Corey Henderson gives you a boost.
Big shot, obviously cut it to 4 points there at halftime, and thought we're in a good place right there. We're really in a good place.
And then you look at some of the halftime statistics as the Hurricane, you're shooting at 52%. Can't do much better than that. Redbirds shot it pretty well as well in the first half.
Exactly. I thought it was pretty much an even game. Where we really affected the game was rebounding, and we out-rebounded them in the first half. We completely out-rebounded them and finished the game out.
And so we start the second half. Hurricane knocking the lead now down to 2 on that slam dunk by Daquan Jeffries.
Pretty good execution on after a timeout. Beginning the second half for set play and a nice pass, good finish.
And every once in a while, a guy that doesn't score a whole lot will get off on the opposition, and that was Madison Williams hitting a 3 for Illinois State.
Yeah, it was a big shot for them because I think we had gotten some momentum. We came right back. We got a nice high-low pass against their zone.
43-38 at that point is Martin Zigbanu with the score for the Golden Hurricane. And certainly more competitive this game than the last time against Illinois State.
Yeah, absolutely. We were on top of the ball game up here shortly, and that was a good offensive rebound there. Once again, I thought we did a great job on the glass.
And played better defensively, certainly, and they get a three-pointer here from Malik Yarborough, who had a good game for them.
Yeah, you can see we cut it to 2, and then they went back up 5, but I think we battled against their zone. We got back into the game here with good passing the ball, sharing the ball, and a nice drive here by Curran Scott.
Scott with a beautiful left-hand layup for the Hurricane, and that makes it 46-43. And Tulsa would battle back and have a chance to tie right here, Coach.
Yeah, and we ISO play. They had switched on ball screen. They went man, and we ended up throwing the ball to Quan there, let him go to the basket. Obviously, there it is, the tie, and we got in a lead here. I think we're going to take a lead here too.
Yeah, this one is a foul situation, and Corey Henderson nearly got that one to go. That would have been an and one, but he does get both free throws, or hits the one free throw, I should say, of the 2, and ties up the ball game. That free throw, actually, that's Jaleel, isn't it?
Yes, Jaleel, and actually this is where we take the lead with 8 minutes to go in the game. Oh, actually, maybe 1 or 2 tie the game up.
Yep.
But we do have an opportunity here to take the lead when Lawson Carita goes to the bat.
Yep. Carita goes to the line, and this will be your first lead since very early, or maybe even first lead in the game.
Yeah, and so the beginning of the game, and I thought we had momentum. Big play here for them where we kind of lost the shooter. We were up 2 and they puts them back up 1.
So they take the 1-point lead, but this one goes down the stretch, and unfortunately your team got a little bit cold at this point in the game, and Illinois State took advantage.
They did, and it was a big, drive, a feint, a finish there, and a paint. We didn't finish, out shooting the ball as well, as you can see. But I thought our guys fought hard.
Yeah, no doubt, and then you got the 2-point lead, and unfortunately Illinois State then was the stronger team at the end, but the Hurricane battled hard on the road, and now you come off of that game, Coach, with a disappointing loss, and you're 4-4, and now you have a full week to get ready for Kansas State, so it was a big week for you, wasn't it?
It was, but we had a week to prepare, and I thought our guys fought hard to get ourselves ready to play.
And so Tulsa takes on Kansas State in Wichita. Highlights coming up next on the Frank Haith Show. Rejoined by head coach Frank Haith as your team with an important week, Coach. You get ready for what is truly a road game in Wichita against Kansas State, and then on Thursday you find out you lose a guy.
Yeah, that was tough. Obviously we were focused on getting better, and then the 2 days before the game, Daquan breaks his finger. So we had to prepare and get ready to go play without him.
Yeah, Daquan Jeffries unavailable to you, one of your more athletic players, and we're at Intrust Bank Arena in Wichita. But again, this one will go down as a road game for TU. And right away, a jump shot by Dean Wade gives them a 2-0 lead. But then you guys fight right back and get a 3.
Yeah, we really did a good job of executing. We didn't shoot it great, but we got good shots. And that was one of them where Tap penetrated and dished to Junior. Junior obviously had a great performance, 22 points in this ball game. Good one-on-one move there in the post.
Gets the and one, and the Hurricane able to make it a 9-8 game at that point. And in a moment, Curran Scott will get a scramble play for you and end up with a basket. This is a nice move.
It is, but I want to point out that early before that, Darian Jackson and Elijah, 2 freshmen, their defense and knocking that ball loose. And I thought Darian came in the first half, gave some nice minutes being active defensively.
And speaking of defense, you really did play well defensively, despite that 3-pointer by Wade.
Yeah, but obviously I thought our defense was outstanding. We changed defense a little bit. We had to make some adjustments, losing Daquan. Good drive there by Sterling and finish.
And Tulsa Tulsa taking the lead at 19-16 at that point. This is good patience and a nice feed.
Yeah, moving on without the ball, and we're doing a lot more of that, doing a really good job of that.
The assist to Junior E2 on that one, and a pass that results in a slam dunk the other way, which draws K-State to a 26-25 lead, but then you battle back.
We did, and this is something we've been harping on with Jaleel being an offensive rebounder, and we out-rebounded him in this ball game. You can see us there. We're up 5 at the half from a rebounding standpoint, but offensive rebound is key to us winning this ball game.
So Kansas State has the lead, a little bit of a flourish for them in the latter stages of the first half, but you see neither team shooting the ball especially well, and that would be the case in the second half as well, as your team just grinds this one out.
It is, but that's good ball movement, getting a wide open shot by Sterling early in the second half here. I thought particularly early we really had some good ball movement. Another inside-out play. Martin's finding Junior for a wide open 3. We opened up a half, 2 back-to-back threes.
And you're up 33-32. K-State ties the game at 34. And Martin Zigbano with the good hands.
Yeah, and right at the end of the clock. So we really kind of a meat grinder possession.
And the Hurricane in a 2-point deficit. And this was a long time. Neither team scored, about 3 minutes, and that finally broke the ice for you.
Yeah, and Junior ate 5 threes in this ball game, and obviously he shot with confidence.
That basket giving TU the lead. And here you see Stokes, who did not have a great game for them. You really eyed him well, although he got a basket there.
I think he was 1 for 8 from 3, and that was his lone 3. They went zone this one possession, and we found Junior right there at the free throw line, turnaround jump shot.
Gets you to a 1-point deficit, and now you get a chance to take the lead.
Nice slip screen for Junior. Good pass by Sterling.
And we're going down the backstretch here, 8.5 minutes to go. May Ween able to hit that little jump hook, and it ties the game up at 45-45. He hit the free throw to make it 46-45, so you're down. But you'll come back, and again, it's a 3-ball that does it for you.
Yeah, nice skip pass on our horns action. A freshman Elijah steps up, makes a big three.
That was a tie game at 49-49 when he makes that to make it 52-49. They battle back, get a basket. Now it's down to 1. And we're down the backstretch here at the 3-minute mark. That's a nail shot, isn't it?
That's big time three. You know, and I told Elijah right before he came in the last stretch here, I said, you get open, get it. Don't be afraid to shoot the ball.
Tulsa would not be headed. They would not have any other situation where they were behind or even tied, and you roll out of there with a victory. What a celebration. It was really emotional, wasn't it?
It was, and we had some guys, we didn't turn the ball over, made some free throws. Obviously, Martins was 8 for 8 from the line. Corey Henderson makes 2 free throws. We won the game the way you should win the game.
Yeah, and like an old friend of mine said, celebrate every victory, right? Because, road win like that was huge, wasn't it?
It was, but I did tell our guys, if we had lost the game, no loss, one loss would define us. There's no great win should define us in our season. But it was a great moment, and now we got to get ready for exams and get ready for the next one.
Yeah, but clamping down defensively, that was huge, wasn't it?
We showed some maturity, and we really grew up defensively the last couple ball games.
So TU with a huge win to go to 5-4. In a moment, we'll be back with our feature segment on the Frank Haith Show. This is Baseline to Baseline with Jeriah Horn, one of the newest members of the University of Tulsa basketball team. You transferred from Nebraska. Why did you choose Tulsa?
I actually wanted to have a chance to play the 4 spot. Last year they had me playing the 3, and I thought, I would have a better chance of playing the 4 because that's where I felt more comfortable. I played that in high school.
Now you're in Tulsa, so what do you like about the city of Tulsa, the University of Tulsa, as compared perhaps to Nebraska?
I'd like to say I love the community. Such a tight-knit group. There's a lot of people that I see all the time that I recognize now, and I like that. I like that a lot.
What will be the most frustrating part for you not playing this year, but you are practicing with the team?
Right. I think not being able to have our camaraderie translate to the court. I won't be able to play with them this year, which isn't great, but I'm going to do all I can to help them become successful in practice.
Now, your dad played at the University of Memphis, so he has taught you a little bit about the college game. But what about your mom and your dad in general? What did they teach you?
I think also that the people don't know, my mom knows a lot about the game as well. She's taught me a lot about it. Nights that I had bad games, she would stay in the car harping on me about what I need to do better. So she's always been that extra energy that I needed to get me over the hump. So I really appreciate that from her.
Well, we can't wait until next year to see you on the court. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
Jeriah Horn joining us on Baseline to Baseline. Well, Coach, you could use Jeriah Horn about now with the injuries you've had.
Absolutely, right? And Jeriah is going to have a great career here. I tell you, he's really worked hard on his body. Just watching that piece there, see how much his body has changed in a short period of time being here with Coach Dietz. He's a terrific scorer and a really, really good kid.
And he helps you out in practice, right? He's a big body you can bang against even if he can't play in the game.
Absolutely, and I think he's helped tremendously already because he makes our guys work because he's an effective scorer and he's an aggressive scorer.
Our feature segment continues now with one of your new assistant coaches, Danny Henderson. Why Danny Henderson?
Well, Danny, comes to us from having great experience, being a high school coach for many years, but on the collegiate level, being at Boise with Leon Rose, a guy who I think is a tremendous coach, and working over at Oklahoma State. So he brings great knowledge and experience on the court with us, and being from Dallas, he has a lot of the high school coaches from a recruiting standpoint, being from Texas.
Absolutely. Danny Henderson is the subject of our feature. As we take it to break, let's meet Danny Henderson.
My name is Danny Henderson, and I'm assistant men's basketball coach. The thing that attracted me to Tulsa first and foremost was Frank Haith. I didn't know Frank, but I knew about him. I knew that he was regarded as one of the top coaches in the country. And when he called me about this job, I immediately liked him. I could tell that he was not only a great coach, that he was a really good person. And now, having worked with him, as I said, he's a great coach, but he's an even better person. I love the way he builds relationships with his players. I love the way he cares about his players. I love the way he cares about his staff. And I love the way he empowers his staff. I got into coaching because my dad got me hooked on basketball when I was 9 years old. He started taking me to the state basketball finals in Texas, and that was in 1970, and we went every year. From a very early age, coaching is all I ever wanted to do. As a player, I was just good enough to play small college basketball, and not good enough to play professionally, that's for sure. So I knew that my playing career was going to end and that coaching was going to be my profession. My decision to go to college ball was really by accident. I was perfectly happy coaching at the high school level. Leon Rice, who is the head coach at Boise State, he had recruited one of my players really hard, Phil Forte, who wound up going to Oklahoma State. Leon was in my practices a lot, and he came to my games, and he had a job opening, and he called me out of the blue, and he said, "Hey, do you think you could recruit Texas?" I said, "Leon, I don't know anything about recruiting." He said, "Oh, you can do it. You know everybody down there." And like 24 hours later, I was standing in Boise, Idaho, and I took the job. And I'm glad I did. I've really enjoyed this journey in my life. My defensive philosophy in a nutshell is simply keep the ball out of the paint. It's a statistical fact that in college basketball, that if the ball gets into the paint, which is typically off the dribble in most cases, on any given possession, that team is going to shoot roughly 57% on that possession. Conversely, if the ball never touches the paint, and again, it's almost always off the dribble, if the ball never touches the paint, the offensive team is going to shoot roughly 29% on that possession. So really, I call it the 60-30 rule. They get the ball in the paint, they're going to score 60% of the time. You keep the ball out of the paint, they're going to score 30% of the time. The things I enjoy most about coaching are the competition and the relationships. You know, it's just in my DNA to compete. It's something I have to do every day. And I love competing at the highest level. But even more rewarding than the competition is the relationships that you build with the players. Most people probably don't know this about me, but I'm an avid fly fisherman. It's the only thing I like close to as much as basketball. I love getting in my waders and standing in that river. So, if anyone knows a good place I can go in Arkansas, I'd love to do that. That was one of the things I enjoyed most about Boise was the availability of fly fishing. That was nice. And another thing, I'm an avid Office fan. That's my favorite TV show. The thing I liked the most about The Office was the dry humor and just the awkwardness that Michael Scott constantly created for everyone involved. And I love the relationship of the people who worked in the office. I found it very real and extremely funny. Have I done any pranks from The Office? When I was a high school coach, I tried to put my assistant coach's stapler in Jell-O, and I couldn't get it to work like Jim Halpert was able to do with Dwight. But anyway, yeah, I did try.
They try to repost with E2. They get it to E2, who gets double teamed, backs it off. Outside right now to Joyner, 7 to shoot. Joyner, right side, launches a three. Swish! Joyner off the right side, pots another three-pointer for Tulsa. And TU leads 56-53.
Yeah, big-time shot by Elijah Joyner. It's the first of many, I'm sure, for that young man.
Yeah, he's cold-blooded. He's a guy that I think is going to just continue to get better and better. He's shooting a high percentage from three right now, a confident shooter. So, but he made so many plays. He's a great leader. He's always talking as a young kid. And that's, I think, what gives him a chance to have a special career.
All right, let's set up this week, Coach. Games on Thursday and Saturday against Prairie View and Manhattan. Got to take care of business at home and get better, right?
Yeah, and Prairie View led in the second half against Texas A&M, who's ranked in the top 10. So we got to be ready to play come Thursday. And the games are going to come quickly. You got Thursday, Manhattan, Saturday, and then next Tuesday at Oklahoma State.
And you're finishing out finals week, right?
Very important week academically. So we've got to have our heads into what we're doing on the court and off the court.
There you have it. That's it for the Frank Haith Show. Get your tickets, 918-631-GO-TU or TulsaHurricane.com. For the coach, I'm Bruce Howard. So long for now.
The Frank Haith Show, brought to you by Don Thornton Cadillac, Pepsi, River Spirit, TTCU, The Credit Union, Bill Knight Ford, and St. Francis Health System. The Frank Haith Show has been a presentation of Golden Hurricane Sports Properties and a Kane Vision production.